being that type of character, it brings a lot of negative.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
Lerone, now you're in Phuket. You got here a few weeks back, and did you know that you were gonna have a fight announced during your time, or did you just come out here? What was your purpose of coming out to Phuket?
So I thought I was gonna fight in March. I've had my mind set on March, late March even. So I just come out to Thailand. I was just gonna do like a holiday train. Obviously I'm training all the time, but I just wanted some sun. I hate the cold. I ended up getting out to Phuket. I've been here for like 2 weeks, and then I got a call about the Ige fight, which obviously is a great opportunity. So it only takes me 6 weeks to get ready for anybody, so it's a good timing for me.
Were there other names, offered during that time before that Dan Ige offer?
No, nah, not at all, And do you know how it come about? I seen it on Twitter actually. Do you know, have you seen the thing of Dana's head and then the names in the background? Yeah. And then like a few people saying it's me. I didn't even know about this at this point, but that was obviously the UFC's plan to get me to fight him on the 3rd of February. We asked for maybe late February, but the medal's in the middle with the 10th. It was 9 weeks away, so it's a perfect amount of time.
Perfect, yeah, that's right. And going back to coming out to Phuket, I seen you were at Tiger, you're at Bang Tao. Is there any other spots you would trade at?
Nah, just them two. I'm just trying to get the best from everywhere. Obviously, I like working with the Hickman brothers. Great coaches, Alex, grappling coach, great coaches, the bodies in Tiger as well. So I'm just getting the best bits from everywhere, but I'm just going to finish my camp at Bang Tao now. I'm feeling great already, man. I'm feeling great already. I'm like 8.5 weeks out, and I'm feeling ready. I feel like I'll be ready in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like a pre-camp though, right, for you, right?
Yeah.
It's not really actual training camp.
No, that's it. But like, do you know what? Once you've got somebody's name in your head and you've got a date, it's hard to pull back. Like I said to you today's the day where I'm just chilling. Bring it back down a bit. Don't burn out too easy. And that's how the elite level perform.
The thing about you that interests me the most, and we talked about this off camera earlier, is how you came from pretty much no base. Maybe street fighting, I'm not for sure. Would you call yourself a street fighter?
I had a good couple, I had a good couple. Undefeated in the street as well. Probably about 20-0.
All right, 20-0. We're going to add that to the, what are you, 18-0 now? 13-0?
13-0,
okay,
yeah.
13-0. Right. So, and your amateur record too, right?
Yeah,
so you can add all those if you really want to. But yeah, like it's interesting because there's not many guys like you in this industry, in the fight game, where you have no base, started training late in your life, and become, right now, a top 15 featherweight in the world with no losses. Like, what is the secret?
The secret is hard work, and I feel like it comes down to obviously what I've been through in life. I feel like that's like a big drive for me. I feel like I push harder than most, if not all, people to do that in 10 years. I started training at 22, 32 now. To do that in 10 years is unheard of, and plus including injuries, I've been out for about 2 years of that time as well. Do you get what I'm saying? So I've got myself to an elite level, and I think it's just the heart. Even in fights, like a lot of people underestimate me. They get in there with me and they see I've got that will to win. I've got that desire to win, and I push differently.
Yeah, the will to win and the grit, those things, I don't think you can really teach it to people, right? It's in them, or it's not.
That's it, 100%. It's in them or it's not, and I feel like I've always had that. From a kid, I've always had that fight in me. Me and my cousins used to fight all the time. Older cousins, like I've been the youngest one and stuff like that. So I've been fighting. Do you get what I'm saying? I know how to fight. I've got heart, and I feel like that's what's got me to where I am, because I'm not the best technically out of everyone. They've got these world champion kickboxers in there. World champion wrestlers. I fought Zabira Tukugov on my first fight. He's like a world-class wrestler. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm competing with these guys, so it has to come down to that.
Do you ever surprise yourself?
Nah, I actually expect more from myself, to be honest. I feel like I've not shown the best me, and I feel like the Ige fight will bring out the best in me because I'm gonna go in there with like a fear kind of thing, and that's what I've missed in the last few fights. Not to say none of them guys are not world class, and I know they all are, but it's like I've not had that fear that I had earlier on in my career where I just come out and I'm fighting for my life. I've not felt like that.
So you feel like a more of a calm in the storm,
Yes.
in the octagon.
Yes.
At the highest level.
Yes.
That's scary.
Yes. And I've seen it to my coaches after the last fight with Kulaba. I was like, bro, why do I feel like this? It feels like I'm just having a sparring session, but I don't want it to feel like that. I want to be like trying to finish fights, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like fighting for my life, like I said, and I feel like this fight's gonna bring it out of me.
Yeah, let's talk about the Kulabau fight, man. You know, we spoke before the fight, and to me, it was one of the best matchups on the card. One of the best matchups you can make between two up-and-coming featherweights, and you came out with the victory. You know, I know you're kind of your own worst critic. Could you dissect that fight and tell me what
I know you had Kulaba winning as well, but I think you did. When I spoke to you, it sounded like you did. But do you know what? It's a good fight. Kulaba was a strong competitor. He's good, he's sharp, and he was fast. He was so fast in there. That's why I ended up grappling a lot, because I felt the strength difference, and he was very quick. But I feel like it's one of them. I expect myself to be beating anybody outside the top 15. I feel like I'm top 15 level, so anybody that comes, I should be beating them. It was a good fight though, and I got to show the grappling side. I nearly submitted him in the last round, so yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. You fought a guy. You know, we were talking about it. It was like a mirror image, right? You guys are both coming up together. You guys have, you know, great performances, and you're a threat to the top 15. I still think Kulaba's a threat to the top 15.
Yeah, of course,
you know what I mean?
I feel like he'll come back a lot stronger from that. He's felt that level. I feel like I was the best guy he's fought yet, and he's felt that level, and he knows what he needs to do. I feel like he's going to come back very, very strong, and I might even see him again.
Yeah.
You know how this game works. I might even see him again.
Now you got Dan Ige. You know, we talk about tough, man. This is one of the toughest dudes in the division, probably in the history of the division. The dude has never been finished. You know, what do you think of him in the matchup?
Oh, it's a great matchup, stylistically, a great matchup. And like you said, he's never been finished. He's been in there with Barboza, Cater, everybody, literally. I know it's a tough fight. He's a banger. He can punch. He's got a lot of danger. He can wrestle. But I feel like he's like, not the benchmark, not a gatekeeper. He's not a gatekeeper, but I feel like he's like, if I can beat him, I'm gonna go on to bigger things. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm just looking at this fight like that. This is the gate to bigger things.
Well, everybody that has fought him has led to bigger things. So you are right. You know, I don't know. Sometimes the word gatekeeper, I guess there's a negative connotation to that.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But to be honest with you, it means longevity in the division, at the top of the division.
Of course.
So you got to respect that, especially with Dan Ige. What interests you about like the style though? Like, you know, when you enter a fight, is there something that you pinpoint and say like, oh, that aspect of the fight or that aspect of his skill set, I'm interested in that. I want to test myself against that. Do you see that in him?
Yeah, 100%. It's like, for me, when I look at Dan Ige's fights, I know how dangerous he is. So that's what's switching me on mentally. That's what's going to get me up in the mornings and push. And I know that throughout that 15 minutes of the fight, if it goes that long, I need to mind my P's and Q's. Do you get what I'm saying? I need to be good, very good defensively, because one shot, it looks like he's got one shot KO power, right? So that's what switches me on, and that's what gets me up for this fight. And I feel like we've both got heart, probably the most heart in that division. So it's going to be like, I feel like I can see it being a war. I can see it being a war.
And when you get back to the UK, what does the camp look like? What does the structure of the camp look like for you?
Yeah, so when I get back to the UK, which will be maybe 10 days time from now, I think I'll be 5 weeks out, maybe 6 weeks out. So then it'll be like fine tuning towards my opponent rather than getting fit, getting strong. I'll be fine tuning for Danny Ige. I've got my coach there. I've got my training partners. I've got some good bodies lined up that will emulate his style very well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into the trenches, getting back into the cold, being around my family. That's where I thrive.
Yeah, yeah. You're in great shape right now already, right? Like, have you ever been out of shape though? Like, do you ever get out of shape?
Do you know what? Like, I have been, but only because of circumstances. So, like, after my car incident, I got a bit big. I couldn't do anything. I sat about. I was literally comfort eating because I felt depressed. But other than that, day to day, I'm in shape. I'm always in the gym. I'm in the gym year round. But I do love my food.
Yeah.
But so I never get fat, but I do get a bit bigger.
Well, going back to the comfort eating, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. I can relate to that. I'm pretty sure people sitting here right here on the beach can relate to comfort eating. And then the depression, like, how did you get out of that? You know what I mean? Did the fighting allow you to get out of it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like it's crazy because before fighting I didn't feel like that, but like now I've got this love for fighting. Anytime I can't do it, it gets me down and I don't feel like the same person. Almost, I feel like I've got no purpose, and I'm just like sat about like what. Like, it's crazy. Like without the fighting game, without training, without fights, it's like we just sat about, just like doing nothing. And this is a conversation I've had with like close people with me. It's one thing that I need to get a hold of, because after fighting I see why a lot of guys fight past 40 and too long. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's all we've got as a fighter and it's what we love to do. So it's one thing that I need to master before I retire, for sure.
Yeah, Volkanovski was talking about that after
seen
his
that,
last
I
fight,
seen that,
right?
I
And
seen
everybody
that.
can relate to that.
Everybody, it's like when somebody actually comes out and says it, it's like, that's what I had in my mind, but I wouldn't. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's good that he said that, because everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, man, it's chasing the dragon. A lot of people, describe that as well. Like you're itching for the next one. You know what I mean? Because there's so much that comes with it. The spoils of victory, right? Like the spoils of it. You've never lost. So like, have you ever had a fight where you felt like, man, I didn't perform really well, and not well enough of what I believe I can perform at, and you still got the victory, but you've kind of thought of it as maybe a loss?
Yeah, for sure. I've had loads of them, especially in my first fight back from injury when I fought in March. I fought a Brazilian kid. It's a close fight. I believe I won. A lot of people saying I've mixed reviews on that, and I guess it's just how you see the fight. And a lot of people always root for the underdog. That's just how the game goes, right? But yeah, I felt that, and it hurts. I didn't like it at all. But I feel like how can I say it? It's like the chase and working towards something that keeps us going in the camps.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why we like to be in camp all the time, because if we're not in camp, we're doing whatever else.
Yeah. You could get pretty wild, right? When
That's
you don't
it.
have a purpose.
That's it. Like, yeah. I can't remember the quote. There's a quote what I seen the other day on the internet, and it made perfect sense. Something about being like, nothing comes from being idle. Like, the bad things come from when you're idle, right?
Well, another one that I heard recently was, "There's no statues of critics." That's a good quote right there, right?
It's true. It's true.
You've had a lot of critics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially, I think, after that fight when you returned from the car crash. You know what I mean? Like, people don't. I think they erase everything that you've been through ahead of that, right? And they just look at the result and be like, "You didn't deserve the win," but it's. You don't decide who deserves it.
Of course.
You can have an opinion.
Of course, yes, that's it. And it's like, people are totally writing off that maybe 9 months before I nearly lost my life. I was sat in a hospital bed. I was sat in my room, concussed out of my mind for months. Like, couldn't train, couldn't do anything. So, and I come back up from 17 months out, and I thought, that kid is good. That kid is good. He's like, he'll do well. I think he's going to do very well. And I fought him, and it was a close fight, but I won the fight. Like, if you look at the stats, if you watch the fight back, I was landing way more than him. Yeah, he got a few takedowns, but it's nothing. Like, in this day and age now where we're scoring, it's nothing. It's all about damage, and I made the most damage.
Yeah, for sure. Dan Ige, like I said earlier, he has losses, but they've all been decisions. Like,
Yes.
he's tough as hell.
Yes.
Like, is there a different mentality when you're facing a fighter like that you know that it's going to be very difficult to put him away?
Yeah, like any good coach will say, you don't go out there and try and put them guys away. You go out there, flow, let your shots go, and if the finish is there, it'll come. And anytime you try and get a finish, it never comes anyway. So I'll just be going out there and I'm just trying to I'll be staying safe, and I'll just be letting my shots go, different types of shots, things he's not seen yet. So yeah, and like you said, he's been fighting the best. He's been in the top 15 for how long now? He's been fighting the best after best after best. So he'd be looking at me like I've seen you before. Do you get what I'm saying? He's been defending that 15 spot for forever. So I need to go out there and show him that he's not seen nothing like me before. I'm a champion in the making.
Yeah, it's your opportunity to show the division that you are a serious contender by taking Dan Ige out. And Dan Ige's position is, I have to show the up-and-comer that I'm still a contender.
Of course.
Those are the best fights, right?
That's it. That's it. That's what makes the fights. And it's like, I respect him, man. Like, I know his quality in it, and I know how good he is. Like we said, he's beat Barboza. Yeah. He's beat Nate Landwehr in his last fight. He's only been beat by grapplers, really. Bryce Mitchell, Evliov.
He had Korean Zombie grappling.
Yes. Well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Like, he's only lost to grapplers. So I think it's a great matchup. It's a great matchup.
For sure. Volkanovski and Topuria, they're gonna fight the week after you.
I know.
Right? For the pay-per-view, for the title. Do you see Topuria being a huge threat? He does have the power. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and he has power, very good ground skills. But we've heard that, about other challengers, right? That Volkanovski has faced off against. What do you see?
I think it's a very good matchup, and like you said, Topuria is world class everywhere. So of course he's got a chance, and anybody with punching power's got a chance. I think Volkanovski is the elite of the elite. What, he got knocked out by Makhachev, so what? Anyone can get knocked out, anyone can get clipped. I think it's a great matchup, and I don't know how it's going to go, to be honest. I think it's like, I wouldn't say 50-50. I would say it's more in Volkanovski's favour just because of the 5-round experience, championship experience, and is probably the goal of the division, right? So a young Topuria stepping in, 26 years old, fresh. How does Volkanovski bounce back from the KO? Has he lost his momentum? That's what everyone's going to want to see, right? I think it's a great matchup, man. It's a great matchup.
It is a great matchup.
I wish that was before my fight. I wanted to see that before my fight because every time I see a high-level fight, I take something from it. Do you get what I'm saying? I would have preferred that one to be before my fight, but yeah.
You're one of the top contenders rising up from Europe, and another guy, Garry, he was in the news, right? And he just pulled out of his fight against Vicente Luque. I guess he has the flu or pneumonia, and people will always question that, right? Have you ever been sick during fight week, and didn't pull out, and still fought and regretted it?
I've not been sick, but I've been injured. I fought on so many injuries, like bad injuries as well, and but I've always won. So I can't say I've regretted it. It's always been a good choice to fight because I've still made money, and if we pull out, we don't get paid. So it's one of them. And I think with the flu he's got on fight week, I think it's hard to deal with, right? Yeah. It's hard to deal with.
It is, man. It is. If the doctor is telling you that you can't fight, you can't fight. It's not like you tell the doctor, like, no, doc.
Yeah. I've had the flu before, and there's no way. If it's a proper flu, there's no way you can get in that cage.
Yeah, and they're talking about pneumonia, that's dangerous.
Yeah,
you
dangerous.
Die from that shit. So, yeah. What do you think of all the stuff that's going on with him? You know what I mean? Like, I sometimes speculate that this is just all like a planned thing. Like he wants to just. This is what they do. They want the attention.
Do you know what? I feel like he's come on the McGregor vibe, but he doesn't know how to handle the backlash from it. That's how I feel. That's how I'm looking at it. Being that type of character, it brings a lot of negative back to you. It does. Look at Paddy Pimblett, same thing. When you out there, people just want to see you fall. It's just how it is. So you got to expect what comes back with that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's about handling it the right way, because in this game you do want attention.
Yeah, of course.
You do want websites writing about you.
There's pros and cons. Like you said, look at Paddy's following now. Like without him having the characteristics he has, he would be nowhere. Like he wouldn't be wouldn't be nowhere near as big as he is now, wouldn't be making the money he's making now. So there's pros and cons. People hate him. So what? Like, does he care? Probably not. He's still making money. Do you get what I'm saying? But I feel like he can handle the backlash and some people can't.
You know, you could actually play a character if you wanted to yourself, man. You've had 2 near-death experiences. Like nobody, I don't know anybody that had 2 near-death experiences, right?
That's not me though. A lot of people have said it, but maybe I might look back in 10 years when I retire and think I could have made way more money if I played on these things. But I feel like it's not me, and I feel like I've seen Rocky Edwards do it where he's not gone out of his character. He's still stayed quiet, been himself, and he's still champion. He's still made millions. That's the way I want to do it. I just want to be true to myself. I don't want to be acting and being someone I'm not. I'm a quiet, chilled guy. Do you get what I'm saying? So why am I going to start acting something that I'm not?
But if someone came at you, it's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different story. I'll always defend myself.
Yeah.
Oh, you seen the thing with Wood? He tried to come at me, whatever else, and then he started playing the bullying card.
But you didn't. I didn't think you went too hard on him.
No, I didn't.
Because you could have went hard on him.
I could have. And this is what I'm saying. It's like I couldn't be bothered with the negative energy and like, I can't be bothered. Mate, I just want to fight, get paid, feed my family. That's it. Like I can't. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and it's part of the fight game.
Yeah. I was waiting for it because the UK dudes and like the Australian dudes and the dudes from New Zealand, they all have good banter. They all talk shit.
Yeah.
So I was expecting something, but I was like, oh, he's staying calm.
Nah, staying calm. Do you know what? When he started like pulling out the mental health card and all that, I thought, I'm not going down that road. It's a dangerous road. Do you get what I'm saying?
Sometimes.
This is what I'm saying. It's a dangerous road, and it's like, I understand it, innit? Whatever. Call it a day.
All right, Lerone, thank you, man, so much for the time. And all the best in the rest of the camp and safe travels back to the UK.
Thank you, bro.